Okay, people, this is episode 2, Bigfoot, Dogman, Portals, Skinwalker, Cryptoid beings, missing people, when I was little, we traveled all the way to Japan. We crossed country from McLean, Virginia to California, took an airplane to Hawaii, an airplane to Japan. Came back from by boat, Japan to Hawaii, Hawaii to San Francisco, cross country back. On the way to Japan, we went through all these different national forests. I got lost at Pikes Peak. I got lost at Mesa Verde. I got lost at the Grand Canyon. There was a couple that found me at the Grand Canyon, or it was Pikes Peak or Mesa Verde, one of the three, which we also went to the cliff dwellings. And visited all sorts of Indian reservations. And at Pikes Peak, my brother and I, who's a year and a month older than me, were missing for a little. We're gone for a little while, and then we came back. But at that, now that I recall back, we went off on our little excursion, running around Pikes Peak up near the campground. That was crazy. And we got in trouble when we got back. I'll never forget this. Our parents got mad at us. But while we were gone, I'm convinced that we had run into several Sasquatches that helped us make sure we didn't fall off right the side of the mountain. The monkeys. Anyways, this is episode 2. I'm asking everyone to subscribe, like, what have you. Gonna go live. Now, episode 2, we're going to talk about, I guess we'll go into my buddy Brian. We'll do episode 2, will be my buddy Brian. He calls me up. And his wife didn't want to go down the river with him. This is in North Carolina, on the other side of Wilkesboro. And I'm like, well, he calls me up. My oldest brother didn't want to go. It's like, Stevie will go. Call Stevie up. He'll go with you. Which, by the way, I'm Stephen Evangelist. Stephen Evangelist Realty is my company. I buy and sell. I have bought and sold. I sell houses, list houses, and sell houses, and help people own homes in Charlotte and the surrounding areas. And I'm also a real estate appraiser, but I don't do the appraisals anymore. I just sell the houses now. So, calls me up. I'm like, okay. It's like, is this like a really rough river? No, it's not that bad. It's not bad. I'm going, okay. Alright, well, you have to come pick me up. So he comes, picks me up. Got everything. that's needed uh, for us to do the trip. So we head out of Charlotte up to Wilkesboro, basically right over the backside of Wilkesboro. There's this river there, and I don't know if that's the French Broad or what have you, or the Little River. I've been down Little River, Big River, Little Corky, Big Corky, a lot of different rivers. Um, and I've canoed throughout my life. By going to camp and signing up for the trips where they would take us up to the rivers and we'd go down the Whitewater and everything. Green River. Some of the rivers we went to were not even in North Carolina. They were like in Tennessee or West Virginia. Right, they were different areas. So anyways, so long story short, I'm like, is this river real rough or what? It's like, nah, it's okay. Well, the river we went down was a very rough river, and he puts me in a LL Bean canoe, loaded up with all our food and everything. And I'm like, Brian, where are we going? We pulled over to this canoe. I said, oh, there's the canoeing places and all this. It's like, we're going over this other area. I'm like, okay. It's like, I'm parking here. It's like, and we're going in here. It's like, that looks pretty rough. So we load up. He tells me that, halfway down here, we're going to be stopping. I'm like, okay. Well, this is like, I believe it's like Friday. Because we're coming out Sunday. Friday night, Saturday, right, Sunday. We get going down this river, and I'm like, man, this is not no damn calm river. So I'm fully loaded with everything. I'm not wanting to swamp, so I'm pulling over on little side chutes. He's pulling over. How you doing? Hey, it's like, Brian, man, I'm really loaded down, man. Where are we pulling over? There's people coming down in kayaks and like if you were to go under their tight suits, right, wrapped up to their kayak and all that, and I'm in this canoe, and they're coming up and they're looking at me. And they're like, man, do you know how treacherous this river is? It's like, I've never been down this river. One guy was like, this way, just go this way. It's like, we're pulling over to the campsite on the midway. Oh, I know that. Go this way. And I'm like, oh God. God bless you. I don't know who you were. You saved my life. Brian's off to the right, loving it, right, in this other totally different canoe that he's really not supposed to, right. They're looking at him like he's crazy too. Because it was kayak, it was treacherous river. So anyways, I finally see the spot. It's diagonal. And I make a run for it. I get over. Now this area that we're camping in is in the middle of this river. It's apparently a national campsite, but the only way you get to it is you have to canoe to it. Okay. And I don't even know if they have it anymore, but it's most likely that the wildlife guy, whatever, is not going to come around or whatever, or I'm sure I think we paid before we went down there. You have to pay. If you don't, you will get a ticket. That's if the guy pulls over, because the water is really fast right there, and it's dangerous, and not a lot of people camp there. You have to pull your canoes up because the river changes whether it's raining or not. So I make that. He barely misses it. Anyways, we pull over. We're right. Right. He does miss it a little bit. He has to come up a little, right, which I threw him a rope or something. I forget what. I think I threw him a rope, right. He comes back. All right, so we pull the canoes up. Now, this is cool. This can be placed to camp. Don't get me wrong. But understand, all around this river, on each side, are farmers that own the property. Okay? Okay? And we're probably, I don't know if we're in Wilkes County or where we're at. I'm going through the dark here in my house. It could get creepy. Don't get creeped out. And, you know, farmers take care of their property. And they know every little damn thing that's going on with their property. So we have this real, I get the fire going and everything. Right, and I hate to say this, you know, and I'm not trying to, like, it's almost like before we went and everything, it's like, do you know how to canoe? Do you know how to camp? All this, that, and the other. Now, I've just pulled a LLB canoe. God. The canoe was weighed down so much. It was within about 2 or 3 inches or 4. That's why people were just coming up, just looking at me like, God, where are you going? I'm like, to the campsite. Where's the campsite? And they're going, I don't know. Right, let's rewind the tape. Right? It's like rewind the tape. No, nobody stayed. Here's another thing. Okay, I'm 1/4 Indian, y'all, so just chill. My uncles, thank you for taking us camping and everything, teaching us right how to camp and fish and everything. Nobody stayed where we stayed. It was a very fast river. Right, so I'm all questionable about Brian and everything. So I make the fire and everything. We cook dinner, and that's all cool. And I'm like, you know, there could be bears around here. Let's go ahead and we'll do the food line thing, and we got the canoes up. I think we need to, you know, rest and get ready for tomorrow to go down the river. Oh no. God. Right? Brian. Oh. He decides. Let me grab my phone here. Brian, all right, he, which I don't even know if this was legal. Okay, decides he pulls out this Glock. Uh, it's like a nickel plated or so stirred. I don't know, stainless steel, silver, but just beautiful Glock with this laser thing on it, and he's shining it. The fire's going right. Oh God, listen to this. So the fire's going, and he's got this laser, and he's shining it, and I'm ducking, and I'm like, oh God, that damn thing. I'm thinking that damn thing could misfire. Okay. And God, or he could shoot right. He could shoot it off, what have you. Or we could both get shot, or somebody could shoot us. Right. I mean, if there were farmers out there and you're shooting a laser out, that fucker could have been like in Vietnam or something, all over you, out just creeping on you. So I go, Brian, put the excuse my language, I said some bad language, gun up, and let's get in the tent and I'm going in the tent. Well, actually, he wouldn't put the gun up or something. He said, I told him, I said, I'm going in the tent to go to bed. I said, if you are shining that laser all around and there is somebody out there and they do know what they're doing, they could come up on your arse. I'm not going to say the bad word. Real quick. And just put you out. He just kind of looked at me, and I said, yeah. I said, don't ever let anybody know. If you do have a gun, don't ever let anybody know you have one. I was like, are you shooting anything for us to kill to eat? It's like, no. It's like, then what's the point? Is anybody attacking us? No. Okay. All right, so we put I don't even know if he puts his gun up. Right. I'm at freak out state. I don't have a gun. I think I brought a knife with me. I think it was a Gerber knife that I used. Excuse me here. I think it was a Gerber knife. Whatever, I had a knife or whatever that I would keep on my side. It wasn't to kill anybody, and it was more like a wild animal or something. Right. I could whip it out, right, or use it for fishing, whatever. I'm like, man, look, you need to go to bed. So I go to bed. Brian's out there getting drunk, fucked up or whatever. I don't know what he's doing. Which you're not. I don't. If I got this correctly, I don't think you're supposed to be getting all drunk or whatever there anyway. So whatever. Right. It's like, I go to bed. Eventually, Brian goes to bed. The river. It's raining. Starts. All right. Starts. Let's rewind the tape. It starts raining real hard. Now, before that, something started pressing against me. Outside the tent. It wasn't a horse. It wasn't a cow. It wasn't a bull. It wasn't a bear. It was something huge. Pushing up against me. If you're facing the tent, I'm on the right side. Brian's on the left. Brian's asleep now. He's all passed out with his damn laser gun. It's like, God, what would you do if they came up on you now? Right, this thing's pushing on me. I'm like, wait a minute, what is this? It's raining real hard. The canoes are up. The river's coming up. After about maybe 45 minutes, and maybe I was half in and half out, all of a sudden this hand, like the size of a baseball glove. Imagine a catcher's mitt. a huge catcher's mitt, right, with fingers. Starts pushing me, like, get up. And I'm like, oh, fuck, oh, shit, oh, well, get up. I'm like, shit, get up. And I get up. And I crawl out of the front of the tent. Okay? And this thing must have known when I got woken up. But it woke me up. This creature. And I'm like, Brian, get up. Brian, get up. And he goes, what? And I'm going, something pushed me and woke me, and the river's rising. Get up. And I go out of the tent. I get Brian all up and everything. And within an adrenaline rush, I'm grabbing the canoes. I'm dragging the tent up. Because our tent was down. Well, to be honest with you, it wasn't that close to the river that we thought. So the river must have come up at least 10, 15, whatever. But the creature that pushed me and woke me up and saved our lives was not a bear. It wasn't human. And the creepiest thing, which is really creepy, is I'm looking at the canoes and I'm like, how does a river go like that and those canoes are stationary like that? God, grab the canoes. And so I grabbed the canoes, right, just in time, like, and then was like, oh God, Brian, grab them. And we pulled those up and the tent up just in time. If the canoes would have gone down the river, I don't think we would have made it home. So we got the canoes all pulled up. And I'm like, Brian, man, something slept next to me outside the tent and pushed me with its hand and woke me up and saved us. And of course, Brian's not a believer. He wants to shine his laser beam at everybody. I'm thinking, and this could possibly be a foreshadow of the video or movie or whatever you want to call I'm doing here. And hold on just 1 second again. That the whole time Brian was shining his laser beam throughout the forest or woods or the farmer, really, because that where we were backs up to the farmer's property. All throughout that river, when you go into that river on each side, the farmers own the property down to a certain point. I'm thinking they were watching him the whole time. Anyways, we had pulled the canoes up in the tents, and the river's now rushing like really fast. And I'm saying to Brian, how many days did you say before you told your wife that we were coming back? And he's going, why? It's like we might need that gun to shoot a deer or some shit. It's like we're going to have to wait for the river to go down. Which you can get caught out there on the river like we were, right? Even those little kayaks, anybody. He's all gung-ho happy. Yippee-ki-yay. Right? I'm sorry. I have skied, camped, hiked. My oldest brother used to tell me we've done shit nobody's. Right, I've jumped off Elk Falls about 7 or 8 times till I saw a couple people. One person got paralyzed. The other, my roommate, was going way above that, was doing flips, and I finally showed him. So we quit jumping off Elk Falls, Tennessee. God. That's crazy. I've jumped off mountains. I've skied Jupiter Bowl, Alta A Base, and oh God, Steamboat, Aspen Highlands, Aspen Mountain. I've got two silver at Aspen Mountain, silver at Aspen Highlands, 3 silvers, 3 bronze. Made it to the championships. Anyways, did crazy shit before Brian and even I went down. I canoed a lot. Right, can you canoe? Right, can you sail? I can sail. Right, they were like amazed what I could do. Anyway, so I can hunt, tracking. I'm excellent. Okay, so anyway, so we get in the canoe finally after waiting. I'm up there. I'm like, let's just have some breakfast. We have food and let's cook. We had all this food, right? I'm cooking. Right? Cooked us this killer breakfast. I'm like, before I die in that river, I'm gonna have this really nice breakfast. So I cook us these eggs and everything. It was all good. Right, and the rain had stopped, and I'm like, in a little while the river's gonna slow down, and we'll be able to proceed on. And I'm like, I don't see a lot of people out there on the river today. I'm like, do you know the rest of the way down? He's like, no. I'm like, oh God, great. I'm like, where are we, where are we supposed to get off? It's not. No, he didn't know that. So, 2, 3, I don't know. The third day, we didn't do a 3 day. What we did was a, a Friday, Saturday, and it was like, we're going to have to get off the river. I mean, it was like, so we went on down and we got up to these rocks. This is kind of before uh, the river was crazy. It all of a sudden got calm, like real quick. I don't know how, but it did. And it was like all of a sudden we were fishing again. It's like, great. Right, and then rain's gonna come up, and then right, it's like we're gonna be back in this right class 5 river. Oh my God. Anyways, I'm going, Brian. Because what is it? Brian's in his canoe. I'm in my going, Brian, wait a minute, Brian. This is before we're about to finish everything. I'm like, so we determined that we'd gone down enough that we could get off people that were going to take us back up. And I'm like, there's these 2 rocks. It's like, yeah, it's like we got to go through these. It's like there's snakes on each side. You're going first. Great. Right. Hold on. Right. You're going first. All right, but I mean, there's a lot of snakes. It's like, what I might get bit. Right? You know, there's those pools you can like in circles with you guys. I'm like, they're just right. Just get your paddle right, right. I go down. There's this god awful mock. I'm like, oh God, what is this snake coming up? Comes up. I'm going down just easy, like it's all cool. Oh no, this thing was really aggressive. Comes up over the rock. I'm like, oh shit. So I go, I'm left-handed. I grab my paddle. I'll never forget this. It strikes at me, and I go, tsh, and it goes flying over my canoe over to, and Brian goes, what was that? And I said, a snake. Oh, the rest of them were still sitting there. It had to have been could have been a rattlesnake or an aggressive water moccasin. I've never seen it. I've seen water moccasins get aggressive. A rattlesnake will do that. Anyway, so all right, so we go over this little waterfall thing, which I don't even. They were like, look at me. Right? I'm like, oh God, this got to be the landing. Let me pull over real. And I pull over real easy. And they're, man, how are you doing? It's like, I'm alive. Right. This is like something out of deliverance or something. Right? And then here comes Brian. And then this really nice guy. It was obviously, from the farm up in that area. He picks us up and he gets us in there, and I'm in the back, and he's driving us back to the car, and he starts telling us how people haven't made it. Other people went down a little bit farther and they got in a lot of trouble. And I'm thinking, this not only well, I need to kind of rerun the tape when we were having the campfire, and he kept shining his light all around before the Sasquatch or whatever came and stepped next to me. There were these god-awful screeches. And then I was like, now, you hear that, Brian? You need to kind of like get in the tent and go to sleep. And it was so loud that it did the river sound, nothing mattered. It was like, you heard it and was like, wow. But on the way back, right, and the farmer people they were standing there on the side. They couldn't believe that we made it down through the river there. It's treacherous. It's totally one of the most treacherous portions of North Carolina. Okay. And if it rains real hard, you are not making it there. Winter, I wouldn't attempt to go anywhere near there. And he starts talking as he's driving us back to Brian's van about how people haven't made it and all these different stories. And I'm just listening to every bit of it. I'm like, man, God bless you and thank you for coming and getting us. He was like, y'all are lucky to be alive. And to this day, I believe it was Sasquatch, but people have been talking about dogman. I don't think a dogman's going to be real nice and help you like that. I believe it was the Sasquatch. He had to have been at least 10 to 12 feet. He or she. Very gentle individual, and is possibly or lives or Sasquatches, because I don't believe it was a dogman. Live and they're gentle. Yeah. This is episode 2. Dogman. Well, excuse me. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Dogman, Skinwalker, Cryptoid, Portal. Anything you can think of in the wild. It's true. And some people said, oh, it was an ape. It's like, well, an ape could live you know. I mean, a panda, if you think about it, had enough bamboo, could live, you know. Okay. We're going to go into the missing people. You're apparently supposed to carry a satellite phone, your cell phone, a 500 Magnum Smith & Wesson, AK-47, a satellite, a beacon indicator. I'm going to say a helmet. Definitely a compass. And of course, you would need whatever you would need on you. And don't ever go into the woods apparently by yourself. There's so many people missing, they can't find them. After 7 days, they don't care about you. So, this is episode 2. If you're out there, you've had something happen. This is not to, oh, you're so full of it, this, that, the other. I don't believe you. That no, these are all, no. I don't, those people, until something is straight in their face, or have encountered something, you know, and at that point, it's like, right, there might not be any hope for them. They could just lose their brain or something crazy. Who knows what? I'm asking all of y'all to like and subscribe. Episode 3 is coming up. And if you, like I said, if you have encountered well, you could call, you could be anonymous. It's like, well, I can do an anonymous. But I sound like the. I can. These are the anonymous files. Right? I remember that. That was me. It's like, yeah. They were walking in the woods and some crazy thing came out, screamed at them. They ran back to their car, went back to college, right, and never told anybody anything. Now, that crazy shit's happened to people. And you need to get it. Well, just 1 second here. Well, you need to get that out of your mind, your subconscious mind. You know, you are a good person. I am a good person. I am doing the things I'm supposed to be doing. I have encountered, you know, this has happened to me. And by doing the things that I do, it's helping me become a better person. Whatever. If you don't even have to call in, email or anything. You just write it down in your own journal. And once you've done that, it's gone into your subconscious mind and it's gotten rid of whatever is. So now that was episode 2. We're going to start going into now. These people are like, it's going to take a 500 Magnum Smith and Wesson and an AK-47. I'm like, what is this all turning into? Bigfoot, dogman, skinwalker, mothman. There's some type of bird that will just swoop down and take you away. Portals, giants, right, that apparently live in the Arizona desert going towards Mexico in these cliffs. Excuse me. Could not believe. Apparently the government shot a giant over in Afghanistan, was killing and eating people, living in a cave. It's on YouTube, you can look it up. It's incredible. All right, now, I'm hoping by explaining a lot of this to you, that you people out there that have encountered whatever you've encountered, even if it was like scratching at your window or whatever, or it's messing with your farm, or it's whatever is happening, that I'm helping you understand that we were lucky to get home. My friend's wife was like, how was everything? It's like, we were real lucky. I'm going home now. And she was like, are you all right? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm going home. Well, how was it? It's like, well, Brian will tell you. We were real lucky. The farmers were like, they were real lucky. It's like, you lucky you didn't die, son. Okay. So, we're going to go into episode 3. Now, I don't know if I'm going to take y'all to Table Rock on that one or over to Lake Jocassee. Lake Jocassee was real interesting. There's a couple of these that, because Sasquatch and Bigfoot or what have you, or dogman, whoever, is so good at, that they can, if they want to, they can just blank it out of your brain. But I've gotten onto YouTube here, onto these frequencies. So we did Wilkesboro. We're gonna do Jocassee, Table Rock. Now, I've been to Shining Rock, Sliding Rock, and when we went there, we did have some crazy screaming and things like that. Linville Gorge. These are the different areas that I mean, my friend in college at Leeds McRae College, he was from West Virginia. and their land backed up to the nature reserve. And what did he do? He took people on guides, hunting guides, where they would go back there and they would shoot wild boars. And then they'd have these, like pig pickings. And they shot deer and all sorts of other animals. But he'd be doing these boar hunting that was apparently real big. And he was telling me about all sorts of creepy things that happens in West Virginia. So, okay. We have to, if you're watching, it's me, Stephen Evangelist Realty. If you're looking to own a home, sell a house, whatever, real estate consultation, anything. I've bought, short sold home, resold, rented it, sold it. I have a building for sale. So let me know. Like and subscribe. We're going to come up with episode 3, which I think we're going to do Table Rock, because that's a really good one. And right, and then all you people that grew up with me, you can watch that one. You'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's what happened to us. On the back side of Table Rock, they have these fire trails. And you have to drive up to the back side of Table Rock to get to the fire trails. You don't drive to Table Rock. You have to drive. And then you have to hike in about 3 or 4 miles, and then you get to the fire trails. All right, now then what you do is you hike the fire trails on down, where all sorts of turkey and crazy shit will fly by. But the forestry and everything, they've already got it cut. It's like a 20 or 30 or 40 foot wide on the fire trails. And you can see Lake Limbo, I believe it is. So then you get to this point, and then you go up to on the left ridge of Table Rock, and it's not going up straight up the mountain. You're on an actual hiking trail, and then you get up that point, and you go to camp in the picnic area, and then from there there's a spring that you can walk to and get your water and everything, which I know where that, nobody knew where that spring was. That'll be in the future video. And then you go to the very top of Table Rock and look out. We'll be coming back with episode 3 of Table Rock and Sasquatch, Bigfoot, missing people, cryptoid, just about everything that I'm researching. It's just unreal. And we'll be talking to you then. And I appreciate all y'all tuning in. Thank you very much.